Back again from Toronto. Oh my god, the lighting is so shit. I am so sorry, Jesus. I'm on day 4, maybe? Day 5? I don't even know what day it is. It's been fun though. It has been fun. I've actually ran into a decent amount of you guys, at least for what I think, and that's been cool to see. Common theme throughout all these TIFF videos. I'm really hungry right now, so let's just get into it. I saw the world premiere of The Fabelmans, and I liked it. I didn't love it, but I liked it. Let me explain. There are two sides of The Fabelmans in my mind. There's the coming of age story, and then there is the movies are amazing, the power of cinema story. I think that when The Fabelmans is a coming of age dramedy, because this movie is pretty funny, I think that is when the movie is at its best. That is where I think the movie really soars, and that's where I think the movie is at its best. When it kind of dives into the movies are amazing, cinema changed my life, I think it kind of loses itself a little bit. I'll be honest, I was very nervous in the opening scene. You know, this is obviously no spoilers, not that you can really spoil something like this, but in the opening scene, there's someone explaining like how movies are made, like down to the number. And yes, it is part of the character. However, considering that was like the opening scene, I was like, oh my God, please do not let this movie be like this. This movie really tries to do a lot. You know, it's actually a lot more complicated than I thought it was going to be. Yes, it's him growing up, moving states, parents' struggles, and I'm really simplifying it down when I say parents' struggles, because there's a lot in there, but all the parents' things, then his love of movies and what he wants to do in life, getting bullied, going to a new school, and I'm not 100% sure that it all comes together in the end. And this movie does have a great ending. It's a great ending. And that's kind of why I still like the movie. Okay, I know I'm talking mostly about what I had problems with it, but I certainly like the movie. It's just I don't really know what I was expecting, but considering the high expectations for it, for me, I don't know if it met that. Having said that, it's still a good movie. There are a lot of, gosh, I'm going to use the word magical moments in this. And I'm not just talking about the moments where he's making film, which I think a lot of people of this audience will really resonate with. I am not surprised that it got the reception at TIFF that it did. And I said this on Letterboxd, I am dreading film students watching this and being like, wow, he just like me for real, because that is going to be just so annoying. But getting a glimpse into his come up in terms of being one of the greatest directors who ever lived, seeing how things influenced him and how serious he took it, even as a kid, just making short films with his friends and editing on those machines, it kind of works on you. It really does. It gets you. And if it got me, motherfucker, you bet it'll get the Academy. And we will talk about the Oscars, but oh my God, this is so much baitier than I thought. And I know that has a negative connotation for it. I've talked about it, that word baity. I promise I'm not saying that as an insult. And I don't think Steven Spielberg is doing this just to get Oscars. But the fact that he wanted to make a movie about his personal life, which is already getting some, love, obviously the Belfast and the Romas and all that stuff. But the fact that it truly just says, this is how much I love movies and how much it affected me in my life. Like, I am going so in on the movies or cinema, you know what I mean? That I was like, oh my God, this is like crack for the Academy. This is like their cocaine. I cannot imagine most people in the industry being like, yeah, it's okay. It's all right. And the reception's already been very good so far. So I just kind of wanted to say that about the story itself. I liked it. However, as someone who's not like actively trying to become a director, I certainly know my limitations here. It's a lot of movie. It's a lot of movie. Fortunately, within that movie, we get to the performances. And obviously, the talk of the town is Michelle Williams, the presumed frontrunner for Best Supporting Actress. And she is my favorite performance in the movie. I think she is excellent in it. I think it is a little bit early to say like she's locked for a win. However, we'll talk about that in a bit. I'm getting ahead of myself. Paul Dano as the dad. I just love Paul Dano. I think he's great in it. I'm actually surprised at some of the people who think that he has like a very, very subtle role. I mean, I guess, but I think he actually has moments to kind of go past that. So I think he's very good. I really like Seth Rogen in it. Maybe it's my bias coming in. I just love Seth Rogen. I just love his presence in movies. I think he's excellent. And Judd Hirsch, who has like one scene, he's awesome. He's great. I know people have been talking about him. He's awesome. And Gabriel LaBelle, the main lead of the movie, is also fantastic too. Michelle Williams is the standout for sure. Honestly, I was talking about how the story is very baity. I mean, her performance, there is like so much in there. There's so many layers in that performance, and she has so much time to shine. I mean, come on. And I will say, considering the movie is 2.5 hours long, I think it actually went by pretty fast. I like the editing. I like the pacing of it. And that is a very good win for me, because y'all know nothing offends me more than a movie that drags or is too long, especially considering this is 2.5 hours long. So thank you, Steven Spielberg, for knowing how to pace your films. And then on a technical level, I won't dive too much into this because at the end of the day, it's about story. But I mean, the technical levels, Steven Spielberg is just a master, and he works with great people. So the cinematography is fantastic. The sound is great. I like the costumes. I like the production design. And I mentioned the editing already. I think this movie is great. I mean, like, I don't know. What do you want me to say? It's a Steven Spielberg movie. So while this movie for me isn't like the greatest thing I've ever seen, even though I do think it will certainly be like that for a lot of young filmmakers and film students, it wasn't that for me. However, there are still so many moments where I was completely swept up in it that it's still a win. It's still a win. No one freaked out at the score. The Fabelmans, 3.5 stars. Okay, so 3.5 stars. That's not good. Let's take it out of Best Picture. Nope, this is still certainly in Best Picture. I realized that even though I'm acting like I gave it a bad review, which is just not true, a lot of people seem to really be liking this movie. Now, there is absolutely a thing as festival hype. You're seeing it with an audience that is completely 100% into movies. They are cheering, they are applauding, they're laughing, they're crying. However, was there any doubt that this would get into Best Picture? This is getting nominated. I don't know what you want me to say. It's so up the Academy's sleeve that I just can't even imagine. I think Steven Spielberg will get in for director. How could it not? It is Steven Spielberg. He got in for West Side Story when West Side Story was looking a little bit shaky, and I am willing to bet money that the Fabelmans will do better than West Side Story in terms of nominations. And then you get to the acting. So Michelle Williams, I don't need to talk about that. Will she win? I'm keeping her at number 1 for now. I don't think it's locked by any means, but I'm keeping her at number 1. The supporting actor is a bit interesting. To me, it's really down to Paul Dano and Judd Hirsch, actually, even though I do like Seth Rogen. Paul Dano, I would keep ahead. However, the fact that I am seeing a lot of people, like a lot, talk about Judd Hirsch in truly like one scene, you have to think about it. I know there's a lot of goodwill for Judd Hirsch. It's just, I'll be honest, I would be a little disappointed if it was like, let's give it to Judd Hirsch. Like, I don't really know. I don't know how I feel about it, knowing that Paul Dano has never received an Oscar nomination, and I just like Paul Dano. There's a lot of contenders here for the Fabelmans, and we'll kind of have to see how the field plays out. But for now, I would keep Dano in. I'm going to keep Judd Hirsch out, but Hirsch would enter my 10 if I did my predictions now. Gabriel LaBelle is good, but, I just am a little skeptical on Best Actor for younger kids. I know we've been talking that Best Actor, the field is looking a little bit weak. However, I still wouldn't put him in, but I guess he would be in my 10 just because of a lack of options, but whatever. Screenplay, that's in. I know I had that at number 1 in August. I'd have to think about that a little bit, but it is certainly in. And then the text, gosh, I would really have to think. I think there's a chance for cinematography. There's chance for costume design. Editing is getting in. Score by John Williams is great. It's just going to be a well-rounded contender, and I think it does have a chance to overperform based on just the movie itself. However, I'm not sure if I see this as a winner. If it is like almost like a duh type thing. Like, it's almost like the Golden State Warriors in 2017 where they won the championship. Even though I know I like it, I don't love it like a lot of other people. Even I can see, I'm like, oh my God, they are going to eat this shit up. And I'm excited for everyone else to see it. I know this is a very off the cusp review. However, like I said, I have a lot of stuff to get done, and I need to eat. As I'm recording this, I'm seeing The Whale in like an hour, so I really need to hurry. So that'll be it. Thank you guys for watching and subscribing. Once again, if y'all see me wandering the streets looking like a fucking loser, just come say hi. I know some people have already done that. I appreciate it all. Thank y'all for watching.